Hello and welcome to Military Mantra. In this interview, we have today Major Tushar Thakur, who has served in the Indian Army for 10 years and he was also an NSG commando. In this interview, we'll try to understand his journey of joining the Indian Army, life in the Indian Army, and various life lessons that he has learned over his service as an infantryman and also as a commando. So, welcome, sir, to the interview and thank you for accepting the invite.
Thank you, Akash. Thank you so much for inviting me on your show. Thank you so much. It's a privilege. Thank you so much.
तो सर मेरा पहला सवाल आपसे ये है कि हाउ वाज योर जर्नी बिफोर जॉइनिंग द फौज एंड back then what was your motivation to join the Indian Army?
See, life before joining the forge was less motivation and less responsibility. But as soon as you join forces, you don't look for a motivation. You become a motivator, and you become motivator in the playground or maybe in any mission or at the battlefield. You are motivating your boys at that time. Your life becomes full of responsibility. You're responsible for the task which has been given to you. You're responsible for your boys. You're responsible for yourself, for your boys family. So it is full of responsibility. So as soon as you wear a uniform, the world is you see a different world altogether. So of course, life before joining and after joining, it's a complete different world. And if you ask me about the motivation, I'm the fourth generation. So you don't look for a motivation when you are a fourth generation officer. So my father was, I think he was the motivation for me, because every time whenever I used to see his uniform, it kept on motivating me that like him, I have to join the forces and wear that uniform and make him proud. So that was the motivation back then.
Understood. So sir, back in your SSB days, how was your experience when you went for the service selection board, and had you heard about the word OLQ as well? So how did you prepare for SSB and what tips you would like to give to the aspirants?
See, SSB has always provided me a platform to showcase my qualities, and it has always given me a chance to for the self-assessment, I would say. So, yes, it really helps my professional skills. And if you talk about any message for the aspirants who will be facing this SSB, is like they should be really working on the communication skills. They should every time they should be improving their general knowledge, their leadership skills, and how to improve their psychological test. Like that's like how to frame a story, how to frame a positive sentence out of a negative word, and how to face this what is the situational reaction test. How I used to prepare myself was, whenever I used to go, even I was out, whenever I was out, any word I used to see, so I used to frame a sentence out of it. Any picture I used to see, even if it is a negative one, I used to frame a positive picture of that. So that's how I prepared myself, and I think it took me around 1.5 month to prepare for the SSP. And I believe that my mentor, Mr. Rajpal Singh Rathor, who was kind enough, to help me for my SSB, was there with me 24/7, who was like making me prepared for the interview. So I think he was the person who with जिनकी जिन मदद से I could clear my SSB. So he is running this Target SSB Institute also, where he's inspiring many boys and girls to join forces. And I think it's been now more than 500 boys and girls who have already joined the forces. So I think he was a great help for me. So that's how I prepared for my SSB. And if you talk about OLQ, then that officer like quality doesn't come overnight. It takes time. Takes time to generate that. It comes with the integrity, honesty. Doing the right thing at the right time, and being very disciplined, and going by the rules. So that's how you build that OLQ. Plus, when your boys, they come and share their problems with you, at that time believe that you have to share them. That's what I believe, that if my boys feel worthy, they feel me worthy enough to share their problems, and they feel that I can solve that problem. So I have generated that officer like quality inside me.
Got it, sir. So, sir, after that, you joined the Officer Training Academy at Chennai. So, how was that
Yeah.
experience in the OTA, and any memorable incident that you would like to share with the audience?
Uh, See, OTA, I think your ustads, your instructors, the officer instructors, your seniors, they make sure that every moment is a memorable one for you. But according to me, I believe the day when we won this boxing championship was the most memorable moment I can. And because in the very first day, out of 10 bouts, we had lost 8 bouts. So we had very less chances of winning the championship. But the way our seniors motivated us, the ustads motivated us, and our instructors, officer instructors who came to us and motivated us, it thing. And the way we performed next day was like, it was very it was, I believe, the memorable one, because out of 10 bouts next day, we won 9 bouts. And after 2 or 3 days, we were declared as the inter-company boxing champions. So that was the most memorable moment. And yes, of course, the day when you put on the stars on your shoulders, you never forget that day. So I think these two moments were the most memorable one for me.
Understood. So, sir, after OTA, you had joined the Gorkhas. So, I understand that even your father was in Gorkhas. That's the reason. But how was that transition from the OTA to your regiment, and how was life there?
Yeah. As I said, like, till the time you are a gentleman cadet, you don't have that much of responsibilities. But once you are there in your battalion, you are given lots of responsibilities, responsibility of your boys, responsibility of yourself, and you don't look for a motivation. You are a motivator at that time. So yes, it's a total different world as soon as you put on those ranks on your shoulders. So it was a great experience, and yeah. So it is full of responsibilities. Once you're there in the battalion.
So, sir, after that, you opted for NSG. So, what was your motivation to join the
Yes.
National Security Guards? If you can also explain that, and how was the probation process for you?
Okay. So I always wanted that unwavering desire, to push the limits, and I wanted that, always wanted to meet the challenges and wanted to be a part of that elite forces where physical and mental toughness is a way of life. So that was the motivation back then. And yes, the probation, it was a 3 months probation, and it is as good as being in the academy again. So yes, it was a very 3 months was very tough for me, because before joining SSB, I had to prepare myself really hard at that time, because I had put on a lot of weight at that time. From 86, I had to reduce to 66, and that took me around, I think, a month. So I had to prepare really hard in the initial days also, and of course when you are there in the probation again, it was I had a tough time over there as well. And after you join the battalion, that was 52 special action group, and that was special anti-hijacking group. So over there we have a cadre for again 1.5 month, that is time marshalling cadre. So that is again a very a tough cadre, where you are taught with different art of wars, plus you're taught with different weapons, training of different weapons. So yes, SS NSG NSG was not easy to get into it, but yes, it was worthy enough to be a part of such a elite organization.
Got it, sir. So, sir, if you could describe, what qualities are they looking at in the probation, and any memorable incident that you have as a, in your tenure in the Energy Commando.
See, Akash, you have to be mentally and physically fit. You and you have you just have to be on your toes over there. Plus, you have to be very good with your weapon skills. The moment you fail any test, you've been RTO'd, you are sent back to unit. And even if you fail any physical test, also you're sent back to unit. So I think mental, physical, and your weapon skills should be really amazing over there, so that you cope up with those with all the tests over there.
Got it. So, speaking of weapons, what was your favorite weapon back then in the combat?
See, my favorite weapon, it depends on the situation. Like what kind of situation you are. If you are in a jungle terrain, then I think nothing can beat AK-47. If you are doing any room intervention, then I believe MP5 is the best weapon. And if you talk about pistols, then I believe the Glock series are amazing. So, but if you want to sum up with all these weapons, I believe I think AK is my favorite.
Got it, sir. So, since you were a short service commission officer, if
Yeah.
you could, picture it for us, what are the various opportunities that you have once you retired in the corporate world or outside world? What are the various opportunities that you can have?
Akash, it depends where you want to go, whether you want to join hospitality, whether you want to go in security line, whether you want to be part of HR or supply chain management. So it depends on you. And I have never seen any defense officer who is not getting a job after he's after his complete after his tenure in the forces. So I think every officer I have seen, they are doing great in their field, and sky is the limit. So it totally depends on you what kind of in which sector you want to join.
Got it, sir. So, sir, from your experience in the Indian Army, if I can ask you any three life lessons which you have learned, which you still cherish, what would they be?
See, army teaches you to be punctual, to be disciplined, being in the right place, right time, and a right trick. All these things have been taught. But one big lesson which I have learned from the forces is fearless to achieve any goal. We become so fearless after joining the forces and coming out of it, that you come what may, whatsoever happens, you if you have thought in your mind that I want to achieve this goal, then you become fearless and you do anything and everything to achieve that goal. So this is what I have learned, that once you have thought of something that you want this thing to happen, you will do everything to achieve it. So that's the best part which I have learned from the forces.
Understood, sir. So, sir, since many aspirants will be watching this, what will be your message to all of them who wants to join the forces?
See, the only message from my side to those aspirants would be that let your determination roar louder than your doubts. Be determined, never give up, never lose hope, and have faith in SSB procedures. Once you join forces, be a good leader. Be a leader as a human being, but not from the ranks. Always have that empathy for your boys, and uh, be a leader who leads from the front. And yes, that is what I want to tell the future leaders and the aspirants who would be who will be joining the forces.
Got it,
And
sir.
I wish them very best in life.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, sir, for coming on this interview and sharing your experience.
Thank
A
you.
lot of
It
people
was my
will.
pleasure. Thank you. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Jai Hind.